And you tell me that's why I be saying, you bitch, it's lesbians, they not lesbians, they come to my book. Niggas don't.
Don't know who you is, but fuck what you heard. All of the talking, it be for the birds. Interrogation, I won't say a word. On my body check every day like the first. I know they want
you bitch ass niggas. In today's room, today's topic, we got Diddy, Ellen, some nigga named Twitch, and some nigga named Dre Rose. I don't know who the other two is, but we about to find out. Basically some secrets in the closet that, you know, that's about to be revealed, and we about to get up on that. We about to see what it is. Let's go.
Silent for way too long. After staying silent for way too long, Dre Rose is finally speaking out, and what he's revealing about Twitch's private confessions is shocking. It all ties back to Diddy and Ellen, with whispers of occult activity swirling around their names. So what did Twitch tell Dre Rose before his tragic passing? And how deep does this rabbit hole really go?
I believe that there's been a cherry picking of things from the journal to reveal and share. And if we're just gonna be completely honest,
I kind of feel bad for calling that nigga bitch ass nigga.
Talk about it all.
Even though the full puzzle ain't clear yet, the pieces Rose laid out are raising a lot of eyebrows. He claims that Twitch left behind a chilling voice note that could tie some of Hollywood's most powerful names to secret parties, dark energy, and not so glamorous behavior behind closed doors.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party though.
Now, according to Dre, that audio reveals Twitch didn't just feel uncomfortable. He felt watched, pressured, and maybe even set up by the same people we've all seen smiling on our screens. He allegedly mentions Ellen by name, saying she made him feel safe. But at the same time, it's clear he felt she was in the mix in ways the public never knew. And then there's Diddy, whose name keeps coming up in all these secretive party allegations. Dre hints that both Ellen and Diddy were involved in these underground circles that had an energy that felt spiritually off. He even uses the word occult, which sends conspiracy corners of the internet into a full-on spiral. We don't have hard proof that Diddy or Ellen were involved in anything illegal or demonic. But what Dre Rose is doing here is peeling back the glossy Hollywood surface and showing us something a lot darker. Whether you believe this is ritualistic, cult-ish, or just the ugly side of fame, there's no denying that Twitch's death and the message he left feels way too layered to brush off as just another tragic story. And the fact that certain names keep popping up, that's not a coincidence. At the end of the day, we still don't know everything Twitch saw or what exactly he was caught up in. But Dre Rose is pushing us to ask questions, and if even a fraction of what he's saying is true, it might explain why Twitch was so shaken. One thing's for sure, when names like Ellen and Diddy are connected to this level of speculation, the public's not gonna just let it slide. But why are these two names in such a tight connection? And why are their names being brought up now more than even before? I mean, Ellen and Diddy go way back. Remember when Ellen actually called him daddy during her show and Twitch was caught up in between them?
All right, we're back with Sean Diddy Combs. Is it Diddy today? Because sometimes you're Puffy and sometimes you're Diddy. Or sometimes you're Daddy.
This here is a very strange connection, and the more you look at it, the more it's giving too close for comfort. The two of them laughing it up, doing little dance-offs, talking about parties. All of that hits different now. Ever since Diddy's secret life became not so secret, those old clips are now under scrutiny. Diddy's name is now tied to freaky private parties, wild allegations, and some
Oh, I thought that bitch was great. I thought she was gay. I thought she was lesbian. For the longest, I swear, when I was growing up, for the longest, they told me that Ellen was a fucking lesbian. And you tell me, that's why I be saying, these bitches, as lesbians, they not really lesbians. They come to love it. Niggas don't want to listen to me, though.
real dark stuff that prosecutors are calling out loud. So when you go back and watch Ellen teasing him about his after parties and Diddy inviting her like, "You never come," it's giving co-conspirator energy. Because if you weren't part of that scene, why were you always being invited to it? Why were y'all so close off camera too? At the time, we all brushed it off as Ellen being quirky or whatever. But in 2025, that is not a good look. Now, obviously, there's no concrete evidence that Ellen was actively involved in anything illegal. But let's be real. Her name has come up way too often when people talk about Hollywood's creepy underbelly. And with her sudden fall from grace, all those accusations of being controlling, having a toxic work environment, and playing two-faced behind the scenes, it's giving vibes of an elite enabler and someone who was hiding in plain sight for the longest time.
This summer, there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show, and then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened.
And when you throw Twitch into the mix, the man who worked on her show looked up to her and then tragically passed under such suspicious circumstances, this whole thing starts to look like a web that's way deeper than we thought. People are now asking, did Twitch know something? Was he stuck in the middle of something he didn't want to be part of anymore? Sure, some of the theories online might be reaching, but let's not act like Hollywood hasn't hidden worse before. Diddy and Ellen weren't just friends, they were aligned. And now that the mask is slipping, their connection is looking more and more like a dark alliance, not just a friendly Hollywood link-up. And if you think things ain't that bad, just look at what is happening to Ellen's bestie, Cuddle McSnugglestuff.
We are entering week 4 of the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial, and there is one name that has come up quite a bit.
Let's be real. Diddy's reputation isn't just damaged, it's completely obliterated. The man didn't even make it to trial before the world decided he was done. The moment those freak-off allegations started surfacing, stuff tied to use and trafficking, people were already snatching his legacy out the history books. No one was waiting on a court verdict. The public made up their mind real fast, and then came the hotel surveillance footage. That clip of him attacking Cassie in that hallway was the visual confirmation people didn't even know they needed. He initially tried to act like it didn't happen, denied the whole thing, until he couldn't anymore. And when he finally came clean, calling it inexcusable, it was way too late. Any credibility or sympathy he might have had left was gone.
Damn.
That video didn't just confirm the rumors, it blew them wide open. It made everything else feel real, believable, and even more horrifying. Suddenly, people weren't just questioning what he did to Cassie. They were re-examining everything he's ever been accused of. And let's not act like the consequences weren't immediate. Brands that used to line up to work with him started pulling out like the building was on fire. Macy's cut ties. Revolt TV distanced themselves like they had never heard of him. Even his streaming numbers started tanking. Like, fans didn't just stop supporting him. They hit that unfollow button and kept it moving. The industry did the same. People who used to call him a legend went radio silent overnight. Meanwhile, social media had a field day. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Everywhere you turned, there were clips, think pieces, receipts, survivor stories, and more damning info. It got to the point where it didn't matter what happened in the courtroom. His image was torched, and there wasn't a PR team on earth that could spin it back into something shiny. Now let's talk about this trial, because it is not a little celebrity slap on the wrist. This is serious. The charges are stacked sky high. Federal transporting women across state lines for freak-offs. It's like every single skeleton in the closet came out, locked arms, and marched straight into the courtroom. And if he's convicted, he's looking at a minimum of 15 years and possibly life in prison. The prosecution came prepared too. They pulled out big guns, testimony from Cassie herself, plus a hotel security guard who claimed Diddy paid him $100,000 to hide the footage. And now that same video has been played for the jury, showing Diddy dragging and kicking Cassie like she was nothing. The prosecution says that moment is just one example of a bigger pattern, a pattern of control and trap that spans over 2 decades. And the thing is, Diddy's legal team is not even denying everything. They admitted to the DV. Their whole argument now is that, yeah, maybe he hit her, but all the other stuff, coercion, they're claiming it was all consensual, that he's being unfairly targeted. But let's be honest, how do you spin a situation like this when the world has already watched the video with their own eyes? What's even wilder is that this trial isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's pulling back the curtain on an entire era in entertainment. People are starting to ask questions about who else knew, who else was involved, and who looked the other way. It's not just about one man's crimes. It's about a culture of silence that may have protected him for years. Think Ellen, think Oprah. And when it comes to his chances of walking free, let's just say it's not looking good. Between the charges, the evidence, the video footage, and the witness list growing by the day, the possibility of him going to prison for a long time is very real. This isn't one of those cases that fizzles out. The feds came with receipts, and they're painting a picture that's hard to deny. So Diddy's not just losing deals and followers, he's losing everything. His freedom, his influence, his legacy. It's all slipping through his fingers, and this trial might just be the moment the whole industry has to reckon with the monsters they created. Meanwhile, all the people who enabled him to become the monster that he is, such as Ellen, are now on the run.
All these celebrities are talking about leaving the United States of America. Well, one of them apparently is putting her mouth or money where her mouth is.
Fuck out that girl.
And that would be one,
God
Ellen
damn.
DeGeneres.
As you may have noticed, Ellen has been completely mute when it comes to Diddy's whole situation, and that silence is loud. And look, she hasn't been officially connected to the case at all, but her lack of a statement has people wondering, is she trying to stay out of the blast zone, or is she hiding something? What we can see is that Ellen has been spotted across the pond in the UK, and not just once or twice. We're talking multiple sightings, photographed, looking real low-key and real unbothered, and very much not in the US where all the heat is happening. Now let's pause for a second, because when a celeb dips out of the country right as their name is being whispered in connection to one of the biggest scandals in hip-hop history, people are gonna talk and they're gonna speculate, especially since this isn't a random trip for tea and Crumpets is giving strategic disappearance. What's wilder is that she's not alone. A few viral posts claim she's been seen with Portia de Rossi. Stories say that she relocated, and that only goes to show that she's trying real hard to put some physical distance between herself and the US media circus. Ellen and her wife were recently photographed looking very cozy in their new rainy stomping grounds, the Cotswolds, UK. We're talking rain boots, trench coats, pub sightings, the whole expat fantasy. But don't let the countryside vibes fool you. This isn't some innocent relocation for better tea. This move is looking real convenient, especially considering how Ellen's name has started popping up in conspiracy videos, wild rumors, and viral TikToks about her connection to Diddy and the Twitch allegations. Let's be real, ever since Twitch's tragic passing, Ellen has been getting side-eyed hard. And when Diddy's legal troubles exploded and started roping in a web of A-listers, Ellen's past relationship with both Diddy and Twitch started resurfacing in a major way. So what happens next? Suddenly, Ellen's quitting Hollywood, announcing she's done with fame and hopping on a one-way flight to the English countryside like she's in a Nancy Meyers film. It's giving, I'm distancing myself before the heat really hits. And get this, the official story is that Ellen and Portia moved to the UK in response to Trump's re-election campaign. But Trump's been around. That excuse is tired. What's not tired is the fact that